Obsession has now made $224 million at the box office on a budget of just $750,000. So who gets to keep all those profits that it's making? The film financing world utilizes something called the waterfall method for paying out the revenues a movie makes. The best way to visualize this is think of a water park and how they have a bucket of water that fills up on top, then fills up another bucket and another bucket, but those buckets down below won't get any water in it until the buckets above are full and tip over.
Y'all, this is nothing but trickle down economics from the 80s with Reagan, but it's the same premise.
We're going to use Obsession's box office numbers as an example to work through here, but this is for educational purposes only. This is going to be grossly simplified. We have no idea what the contract of Obsession says for who gets paid what. So starting the waterfall off here, Obsession made $224 million at the box office. The very first tier of payback is the movie theaters showing the movie. They keep their cut of around 50%. So next, that $112 million remaining bucket flows to the next tier here, which is the distributor, Focus Features, who acquired the movie. For starters, they're going to have a percent fee for their distribution, something around 30%. They're going to knock off of that $112 million. Next, they're going to pay back every single penny that they spent on the marketing budget for Obsession. We know that Obsession was acquired by Focus Features for $15 million. The next stop here, they're going to pay back that entire $15 million they fronted to acquire Obsession.
We ain't gonna have much left to play with.
Plus interest on that money that they put up front. At this point, the remaining $52 million will have a negotiated contract for what percentage is going to go where between the distributor and the production company. We'll use a rough industry example of 50-50. So $26 million more of profits going back to the distributor, Focus Features, $26 million moving on to the production company. So the producers of Obsession get the $26 million remaining from the water.
Oh, wait. And then James Blunt, he gets $17 million, right?
Waterfall of the box office revenue split on top of the $15 million that Focus Features originally gave them to acquire the rights to the film. Knock off about $6 million for various legal fees, administrative fees, sales agents, all kinds of miscellaneous stuff. Chop it down to now $35 million left. Now, Obsession's original budget was $750,000, and you can assume that money was put up by an investor, so you got to pay that investor back the $750,000 that they put up, as well as interest. So we'll say about $1 million going back to that investor to pay him back. But like the distributor and the production company had a revenue split, that's the same thing the production company and the investor is going to have. So we'll use that 50-50 example again. So the $34 million remaining, that initial investor putting up $750,000, they're getting $17 more million their way, and the production company gets the other $17 million. Now that remaining $17 million is what goes back to the production company, the cast, and the crew, and everyone behind the making of Obsession. The percent splits vary wildly from movie to movie and are all negotiated differently, but the biggest split here is going to be the producers. Say there's 4 producers on Obsession, they're each going to get like a 15% cut. And Curry Barker also getting around a 15% cut. You could assume he's getting somewhere around $2.6 million as well. Indy Navarrete and Michael Johnston, we'll say for an example, they get like a 5% cut, so almost $1 million each between the two of them. Then Cooper Tomlinson, Megan Lawless, the cinematographer, editor, composer, they might all get a percentage each. Hopefully this gives you some idea of how a low budget movie like
We're talking about less than $1 million to come back to the crew as a thank you and say, hey, we're in the movie making business now, so come ride with me for this next bunch of movies I'm going to make, because they're going to open the checkbooks for us, right? So basically less than $1 million to split amongst everybody, to say thank you. That's insane.
Obsession can be made for $750,000, make $225 million at the box office. Yet just how quickly all that money starts getting eaten away before it even gets back to the people who made the movie itself.